Let me ask you guys this. How many of you knew that Harriet Tubman was black? I mean, seriously, like, how many of you knew that? Because I was reading this article about Julia Roberts being suggested to play Harriet Tubman. But this suggestion was made about 25 years ago, supposedly. Supposedly this happened. I almost don't believe the story. I asked you guys this because a studio executive, well, what happened was, let me get into the article. But wait, first, I told you guys that I would see the movie. I told you guys that I would maybe see the movie. So I saw it on Thanksgiving Day with my family. We were having breakfast, and we have this tradition of always going to see a movie on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. That's just something that our family has done for a long time now. Actually, I can't think of when we started doing that. But anyway, I didn't originally want to see Harriet. I wanted to see Midway. But I was like, you know what? I promised my I said I promised my audience that I would help and try, or that I would review this movie and talk about it and give my opinion on it. And I'll say this, it was a whatever movie. I thought it could have been better. You guys know I'm a nitpicker when it comes to historical movies. To me, I say get it right, man. Like, it's not that hard. You have the details. We know what happened. We have records. We have all of that. We have accounts. Just get it right. It's not that hard. But there were certain things that they just missed, and certain things that they changed for some strange reason, like the son. They had the son. The Brodus son. They named him Gideon for some strange reason, and I don't know why they did this. But his name was Jonathan, and I'm just still trying to figure out why they even, I don't know, thought that was a good idea to change his name. But, anyway, that's just kind of what happened with, the movie. Would I see it again? No. Do I recommend you see it? Yeah. I would say you should see it. But anyway, yeah, there was a studio executive, supposedly 25 years ago. Well, let me get into the article so you guys can understand. This is just really unbelievable to think. Cynthia, this is from Variety.com. This is November 19th. Cynthia Erivo has received widespread acclaim for her portrayal of Harriet Tubman in Cassie Lemon's biopic Harriet. But according to the movie's screenwriter, Gregory Allen Howard, Julia Roberts, yes, that Julia Roberts, was once suggested by a studio executive to play the role. In a Q&A for Harriet's studio focus features as well as a piece for the LA Times, Howard explained that he had been working on the script for a Harriet Tubman biopic as far back as 25 years ago, but that the climate in Hollywood was very different back then. According to Howard, a then president of a studio sublabel, praised the script and then suggested Roberts play Tubman. Fortunately, there was a single black person in that studio meeting 25 years ago who told him that Harriet Tubman was a black woman. Howard wrote in the Times piece. The president replied, "That was so long ago, no one will know that." Yeah, that's, what I believe happened with this guy is that he was just ignorant on the matter. He was just ignorant on the matter. And so he tried to play it off by thinking, oh yeah, no one else knows that, so it doesn't matter. And it wasn't that long ago. I mean, we're talking about 1850s, 60s. That's not that long ago. That's Civil War time. It ain't that hard to think about, to think about. But what's sad is he didn't think that most people who would go see this movie would be black. Most people, whenever you have a movie about a certain historical figure that's of a certain race, certain that ethnicity will go see that movie. Mostly. So he was thinking, you know what? I mean, it's like black people. I mean, he's just really just underestimating black people there and just saying, yeah, well, I mean, they're not going to know. Harriet Tubman is a huge figure in black history. She's a huge figure in American history. And to just kind of say that, it's just really, it's kind of laughable. It's kind of sad. It's kind of interesting. That's good water. But that's just what happened. I just, let me just keep scrolling down and reading. But I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. Out of 100 people, if you just surveyed 100 random people, and you went around and said, okay, who was Harriet Tubman? I'm just curious, like, how many people do you think would know who she is? Like, I don't know. Because, I mean, Harriet Tubman, she's one of the people that you learn about in school. I don't care where you went to school. But that she's just something that she was just someone that you learned about. In the Q&A, Howard went on to credit 12 Years a Slave and Black Panther for paving the way for a film like Harriet, which Allen describes as turning Tubman's life into an action-adventure movie. When I started on Harriet, many people dealing with black material were writing history lessons, which I hated, he continued. I saw her story as a genre piece. I remember someone asking, is Harriet Tubman really supposed to be a superhero? That's exactly what I wanted, to make her story accessible to a mass audience. That's kind of one thing I didn't like about the movie. I say this. Some people's stories, they're just fantastic as they are. You can leave them completely alone if you just read about what happened to them. The story it just jumps off the page. It's just like, wow. And to me, when that happens, it's like, why change it? Like, why try to make it more than it is? It's already in pretty much unbelievable story. I mean, freeing anywhere from like 70 to like, I've seen estimates from 70 to 90 slaves that are credited to her of her freeing. I don't understand the reason for changing. I just don't understand. I just don't understand the reason for changing it. And she doesn't need to be a superhero. In my opinion, her story is just incredible. I mean, she lived a life most people can only dream of ever living. It's just unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. But anyway, that's really it about Harriet. But if you don't learn anything else from this podcast episode, remember, Harriet Tubman was indeed a black woman. Okay. I want to get into Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't remember the last movie he's done, actually. I feel like it's been a minute. Leonardo DiCaprio's, this is from complex.com. Leonardo DiCaprio's 22-year-old girlfriend, Camilla Morrone, defends their 23-year age gap. Let me just say this. My dad's 73. Okay, my mom is 57. Okay, so they don't have the 23-year age gap. But I'm curious. In your guys' mind, how much of a gap is too much? Like, to me personally, I would like to marry someone for about 4 or 5 years younger than me. That's what I would like to do. Would I ever date someone that's 23 years younger than me? I personally don't think so. Cause I would be married, and I wouldn't be dating at Leonardo DiCaprio's age. And so dating a 23-year-old, or I should say a 22-year-old, I just don't see myself ever doing. Do I think there's anything wrong with it? Not at all. I completely agree with what Camilla Morrone says, and let me just get into the article and let me tell you what she says. Leonardo DiCaprio has often faced criticism for his dating history, but his 22-year-old girlfriend, Camilla Morrone, sees nothing wrong with him dating younger women. After all, she's part of that illustrious group. The Argentine-American model and actress previously defended the 23-year age gap between her and the 45-year-old Leo on Instagram, and now she shrugged the whole thing off in an interview with the Los Angeles Times. There's so many relationships in Hollywood and in the history of the world where people have large age gaps. That's true, she explained. I just think anyone should be able to date who they want to date. It's likely that Morrone gets asked about dating Leo a lot, and she admitted that she would be curious about it too. Over time, though, she's hopeful people will stop mentioning Leo's name when talking about her. That's probably not going to happen. I've never heard of this Camilla girl. She's pretty. Nice body. Nice face. On Instagram, she previously posted a picture of Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart, who famously had a 25-year gap between their ages. Many were quick to highlight the similarity to Morrone and Leo's relationship, especially with her caption, "A love like this." She denied that was her intention with the post, and instead she said she's a big fan of classic Hollywood. In recent years, DiCaprio's dating history has come under closer scrutiny. Earlier this year, a chart detailing the age of his romantic interests over time went viral, showing that he has yet to date anyone over 25. Well, he likes them young. And, I've talked about this. Guys like youth. That's just what we like. Here's the thing. Women tend to lose value as they age in the dating, they lose their value in the dating market. That it's just true. Guys just look at, guys see girls and they're like, okay. This is good. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Those are the ages that men try to go for. Even, men that are 18 to men that are, even in their 50s. This is very common. Women prefer to date men who are, about 4 to 5 years older. 3, 4, 5 years older than them. And that's just what happens. And you may say that's sexist, or you may say that's shallow or mean, but that's just nature. Guys, we want youth. We want fertility. A woman's fertility decreases with age. That's just how it is. That's what men value. We value fertility. Ladies value resources. There was a study that showed that men peak with their dating value at 50. Whereas women peak at 18, which is like, wow. But I just want to ask you guys that how young or how much of a gap is too much? I personally don't see anything wrong with this. I think she's right. People can date who, I would say for the most part, people can date who they would like to date. I just think that is, I just think that's the case. Would I ever date someone 23 years younger? If for some reason I am divorced and I'm on the market, I would. I don't know if I would do 22. I might do like 27 if I were Leo's age, which is 42. I think I would do 27, 25, 26, 27. I think I would do that. That's just me. But I really see nothing wrong with this, and I don't think anyone else should either. Leave them alone. They just, kind of doing their thing. But yeah, we just have to, ladies, just be mindful of that. You can't be like guys and just sleep around the way you want to, the way guys can, because your value is slowly decreasing every single moment you aren't married and paired up. That's just how it is. And there's really nothing that you can do about that, except use your 20s to your advantage. Okay, because some people hit like 25, 26, 27. Some hit, 30, 31, 32, or their mid-30s, and they're like, okay, you know what? I'm ready to have a relationship. I'm ready to be serious. Too late. Your options have grossly shrunk because you're too old. And that's just how it is. No, I'm not saying no one's gonna want you. I'm not saying that at all, because women who are that age, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they do find people. They do find happy relationships, and they do get married, and they go on, to have happy lives. But the number of options you have is just much smaller. Ideally, you want to attack while you have as many options as possible. It is. I'm not saying it's okay that guys sleep around or that girls sleep around. Morally, I think it's wrong, and I'm against it. But I do have to say this. Women can't afford to sleep around the way men can. It's just how it is. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to like me. I really don't care. But let's just keep on moving on to the next story. All right. Have you ever well, let me say this. Kid Rock. I've heard a few of his songs. I think they're I think they're interesting. Sometimes I think it's kind of cool to play some of his stuff. When I'm in, if I'm walking or, in the car with my family. But Kid Rock's Detroit eatery is closing after his anti-Oprah rant. Kid Rock and the company that owns the Detroit arena where his restaurant is located have agreed not to renew the licensing agreement for the eatery. Okay. A Kid Rock-owned restaurant in Detroit's Little Caesars Arena will close once its licensing agreement expires this spring, the singer and arena operator announced separately Wednesday. The severing of ties between the suburban Detroit-born musician came days after video surfaced showing Kid Rock ranting against Oprah Winfrey, though neither party tied to the parting to the video or the backlash that followed. The split also points to a widening estrangement between Kid Rock and the city he calls home. I appreciate all who have patronized our place and still have much love for the city of Detroit and the people/organizations that I have helped there for years, black, white, whatever. But learned long ago, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, he wrote Wednesday on Facebook. Kid Rock's Made in Detroit opened in 2017 in Little Caesars Arena, which is home to the NHL's Red Wings and the NBA's Detroit Pistons. Chris Granger, a group president of sports and entertainment, said in a statement that Kid Rock voluntarily decided not to renew the deal for the restaurant that expires in April. He said the organization has been in contact with the musician. The Illich statement said its venues are open, inviting, inclusive, and venues are open, inviting, inclusive, and respectful to all. A spokesman for Kid Rock didn't immediately reply to a message seeking comment. Let me see if I can get to the place where he talked. The apparent cell phone video obtained by TMZ shows Richie on stage. By the way, that's his real name. Obtained by TMZ shows Richie on stage last month at his steakhouse in Nashville, Tennessee, using graphic language to convey his dislike of Oprah Winfrey and Joy Behar, one of the hosts of the ABC talk show The View. The video later shows Richie, who appeared to be sitting on the edge of the stage, being lifted up by security or police officers. Some viewed Richie's rant as racist, including the Reverend Charles Williams II, who is the president of the National Action Network Michigan's chapter. He called Richie's behavior unacceptable. On Wednesday, his group criticized Illich Holdings for allowing Kid Rock's restaurant to ever open in the arena and called on the company to replace it with a minority-owned, culturally competent restaurant. Now, see, this is stupid. He got upset that this restaurant had ever opened. So, because it's like this. It was open in 2017. It's 2019, and that's when the incident happens. And so the Reverend is saying, well, this restaurant never should have been opened in 2017, but the incident didn't happen in 2017. I mean, the company, Illich Holdings, how would they know not to do that? And this is stupid. He wants to replace Kid Rock's restaurant with a minority-owned, culturally competent restaurant. See, people want whatever they want. You can't choose what is replaced in an arena. I know that's what you may want, and you think that's just gonna make things better, which it really, won't. It's just stupid. And some of you might be saying, "Oh, you can't criticize a preacher." That's not true. Because sometimes. So here's what we have to understand about people. People are wrong sometimes. And when you're wrong, you can be criticized. It's just that simple. He says, this is back in the article, he says he represents Detroit, but yet he uses this rant to throw belligerent statements toward Oprah Winfrey, Williams said. She does not deserve some low-life racist punk rock star to make these types of statements toward her and toward this community. That's why we say good riddance. In his Facebook post, Richie wrote, "I may be guilty of being a loudmouth jerk at times, but trying to label me racist is a joke and actually only does it disservice to the black community, which I have supported my entire life by trying to alienate myself and many others." It's not the first time Richie has gone after Behar. I think that's how you pronounce her name, who was white. Last year, he used an expletive to describe the TV host during an interview on Fox and Friends. I'm not gonna get into any more of this, man. I don't really know what he said. He can say what he wants. It's whatever. People have to compartmentalize. You don't have to like what someone says. See, this is kind of like cancel culture. Oh, we don't like what you say, we don't like what you did, so we're gonna, we want your restaurant gone, and we, good riddance, and, we don't care about you, we don't like you, you're a racist, all of this stuff. And, that's really all I have to say about this, man. I just remember. Well, let me say this: appreciate and use free speech while we have it. Oh, by the way, this article can be found on abcnews.go. But anyway, use freedom of speech while you can, because I'm telling you, there's gonna come a day or free speech will not, it's really going to start being infringed upon. More and more. So use it while you can. Don't try to be politically correct. Quit. I'm not saying feelings don't matter. Because feelings do matter. Facts and feelings do matter. Here's the thing, if we only operate by facts, it makes us robots. If we only operate by feelings, it makes us animals. So we don't want either of those. We want a balance of the two. But you do, facts, as Ben Shapiro famously says, facts don't care about your feelings, which is true, because it doesn't matter how you feel about something. The truth is the truth. So that's, just use it while you can. Okay, don't just let it, disappear, and don't live with regret, just being like, man, I wish you could go back and, if I could just go back and say some of the things that I wish I could have said. If you're politically incorrect, that's cool. We have to stop bowing down to this leftist mob that's trying to censor speech. It's wrong. Just because you don't like what I say doesn't mean I don't have the right to say it. You can feel how you want to feel. You may say something that I don't like. I'm not going to prevent you from saying it. You have every right to say that. So that's really it on this one. So let me go into my last article concerning McDonald's. I'm gonna say this. Sometimes you don't know how close people are to the edge. Sometimes you don't know when you're almost to the last straw with someone. You don't know. They can be looking normal. They look, they're acting how they usually act. They're talking, they're laughing, they're doing their thing. And then something happens. The slightest thing happens, and the person can lose it. There was a McDonald's customer who was arrested for pulling a gun over a ketchup mix-up. This is from Fox News. This woman apparently really did not want any ketchup. Police arrested a woman in Tennessee on aggravated assault and unlawful possession of a weapon charges after she pointed a gun at McDonald's employees because they gave her ketchup instead of jelly with her order. I mean, and you know what's sad? What's embarrassing? She's black. Right when I saw this article, or I should say the headline, I immediately thought she was black, and it turned out that I was right. But can you actually believe that? Like, she pulled a gun. She pulled a gun because she got ketchup instead of jelly. Do you know how much extra work that is? But this is what I'm saying, here's what I think happened. She could have just been having a really bad day. I'm not excusing or condoning her actions at all. But I'm saying that could have been what happened, where she was just having a bad day and everything was just getting annoying, and she just, went a little ballistic. Literally. So, it's like this. If I get ketchup, let's say I'm ordering breakfast from McDonald's. I'm about to make myself really hungry. Let's say I do that. And let's say I order let's say I order, pancakes, or I should say hot cakes, sausage, biscuits, and yeah, we'll say that's my breakfast. Okay. I get that. I get my order, and then they give me, and I say, okay, and with that, can I have, jelly? I actually don't eat jelly. I don't think it's that good at all. Anyway, but I say, okay, and can I get jelly with that? And they say, sure. I get, I wait for a little bit. I finally get my order. And instead of giving me the jelly that I asked for, they give me ketchup. I very easily could just say, oh, I asked for jelly. Could I have some? And they easily would have just said, oh, we apologize. And then they give jelly. They give me my jelly. That whole jelly ketchup interaction lasts 5 seconds. 5 seconds. But now she's facing charges of aggravated assault and unlawful possession of a weapon. Just like over ketchup. Like, it's like, this is just something where it's like, really? And it's just pitiful. It's just pitiful. Let me get back in the article. By the way, this girl's 20. Asia Vester is accused of pulling the gun during the November 25th incident. She had ordered food through the drive-thru and became upset when she received ketchup instead of jelly. According to the outlet, Vester exchanged words with the restaurant's employees before pulling out a gun and pointing it at them. She then left the scene and no injuries were reported. So she still didn't even get her jelly. All that, you make a scene, you cause a ruckus, all for some jelly, and you still didn't get your jelly. Well, I don't really know what to tell you. This is not the first time ketchup has caused chaos at a McDonald's. In April, a California woman pleaded guilty and was smacked with jail time for assaulting a McDonald's manager, claiming she did not receive enough ketchup with her order. Mayra Bernice Gallo was sentenced to 18 days behind bars and 15 days of community service for the October 2018 incident, which unfolded at a Santa Ana location of the fast food chain. The 24-year-old woman, also of Santa Ana, had additionally been ordered to enroll in an anger management course and was placed on informal probation for 3 years. Gallo entered the Mickey D's through the employee back door in search of ketchup because she allegedly didn't get her ketchup or enough of the condiment with the meat she had ordered at the drive-thru, a restaurant staffer told the OC Register. Some things just aren't worth it. I will say this. I don't eat fast food that often. And I rarely have ketchup. But the times I do have ketchup or ranch or barbecue sauce, I understand that there's only so much that they can give. Because there's a certain quota that they receive, and they have to make it last until they get their next shipment. And you don't always know what you're going to get in a shipment. It may be, you may get a new shipment of supplies once a week, but you may not get barbecue sauce or ketchup or ranch. You may get other stuff, but you won't get some of the other things that you need. So that's why they can't just give, seriously, just give fast food workers a break, man. And it's not worth it. you can do it. You can eat it without condiments, or you can eat it with the condiments that you have. You may not have all the condiments that you want, but you do have something. All right? I mean, just people, pick your fights. Okay? Don't fight over jelly. Imagine, you get your phone call in jail. You get your one phone call, and you call someone, probably your mother, or your spouse, or your significant other, or your best friend, and you say, "Listen, I need you to, come pay my bail." I don't even know if this woman got bail, but that's not the point. And then they say, "Oh my God, what happened? Are you okay? What's going on? Why are you in jail right now? Why are you being booked?" Yeah, I was ordering breakfast, and they gave me ketchup, but I wanted jelly, and so I pulled a gun on the employees. I don't even know what you say to that. If one of my friends called me for a reason like that, I'd hang up. I would just hang up. I wouldn't even bother trying to respond, because I wouldn't even know how to respond. I'd be like, actually, I probably wouldn't hang up. I'd probably be like, "Okay, wait." I'd probably say, "Wait, I think I hit a bad spot. Okay, repeat what you just said slowly." And then after they repeat it again, I'd be like, "Yep, that's enough for me. Time for me to go to bed, even if it is 9 a.m. And then I'd hang up. I mean, that's just ridiculous. People, pick your fights. And if you don't know how to not do that, don't fight over condiments. It's not worth it.